In this lesson, we'll be taking words and changing them into algebra, so that will be our focus. You're going to notice that you have this little graphic organizer in your packet, so you can refer to this at any time if you're confused about what a word or term means. Let's look at some problems. So example 1, the difference of 5 and a number is 11. What is the number? So our focus today is going to be making an algebraic equation and then solving it. So difference, that's a word that suggests I want to do some subtracting. It's not one of the fancy turnaround words, so I can do it in the order it asks. So the difference of 5 and a number, so subtract 5 minus a number, and I'm going to call n the number, and I'm going to just do that every time just for consistency. So the difference of 5 and a number is 11. Is means equals in math, so 5 minus n equals 11. What is the number? Well, I have my equation. I'm able to solve it now just by doing the same thing to both sides, following our properties of equality. So if I'm getting n alone, I will subtract 5 from both sides. What I'm left with is negative n equals 6. Remember that negative sign in front of the n, that's like an invisible negative 1. So to undo that, I can divide both sides by negative 1, and I got n equals negative 6. And if I check that, 5 minus negative 6, that really does give me 11, because remember that's the same thing as 5 plus 6. So the number is negative 6. I'm going to write the number is negative 6, answer in words. Okay, let's try another one. So this one, 5 times the sum of a number and negative 2 is 35. What is the number? So this is tricky. When it says 5 times the sum of a number and negative 2, I need to multiply 5 by that entire thing. So that suggests to me that the sum of a number and negative 2 needs to be in parentheses. Sum means addition, so I'm going to add n plus negative 2. Then I have to do 5 times that. So I'm going to write 5 in front because that means multiply. 5 times the quantity n plus negative 2 is, that's equals 35. So I've written it out, and then I can solve for the number and make sure this makes sense. So I would probably use the distributive property here. 5n plus negative 10 equals 35. Then I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. To get rid of adding negative 10, I'll add positive 10. And then I have 5n equals 45. And last, I'll divide both sides by 5 and get n equals 9. So the number is 9. And I'll just double check that really quickly. I want to say, so 5 times the sum of a number and negative 2. So if I add 9 plus negative 2, I get 7. And if I do 5 times 7, I get 35, which is what I wanted, so I got it right. In my opinion, you should always go back to the words to check your answer, just in case you messed up when you wrote your equation. All right, this one gets a little tricky. 18 is 8 more than the quotient of a number and 6. So quotient, if you aren't sure, you should look up that word. But that means dividing. So 18 is, so I'm going to start with 18. Is means equals. 8 more than's adding. So 8 more than the quotient of a number and 6. So quotient means divide, so I'm going to do n divided by 6 here. Now I have to figure out what is the number. So I'm going to get n alone, subtract 8 from both sides. I get 10 equals n divided by 6. Okay, and don't forget to undo dividing by 6. We multiply both sides by 6 or by 6 over 1. These will cross cancel. I get 60 equals n, so the number is 60. And make sure that's true. So the quotient of 60 and 6 is 10. 8 more than 10 is 18, and that's what I wanted. All right, one last one. Whew. The product of 6 and a number, so product, okay, that means multiply, is 8 less than the product of 4 and the same number. Okay, what is the number? Okay, less than, product, all these key words here that I'm dealing with. So product, that one means multiply. So if I just start here, the product of 6 and a number, I'm going to write 6n is, that's equals 8 less than. Oh, that's one of those flip around words, less than. So instead of 8 minus, I'm going to do something minus 8. So it's 8 less than the product of 4 and the same number. So the product of 4 and the same number, let's multiply again, so 4n. 6n equals 4n minus 8. That's my equation. Now I can just solve this like a normal equation. It has variables on both sides, so remember we only want those on one side. I can subtract 4n from both sides. I get 2n equals negative 8, and then I want to divide both sides by 2, and n equals negative 4. And if I check that, the product of 6 and that number, negative 4, well, 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. And then 8 less than the product of 4 and that same number, so 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and negative 16 minus 8 is negative 24. And these match, that's what we wanted. So the number is negative 4.